Therefore, on this occasion and in this segment of the program, we present what the Igbo political leaders must do in order to safeguard the integrity, the pride, and the future of the Igbos and the Igbo nation in the scheme of things in Nigeria. And so, on behalf of the indigenous people of Igbo nation for self-determination, the political leaders, including the governors, the state houses of assembly members, the Federal House of Representative members, the senators, and the Ohaneze must, as a matter of urgency, begin discussion on the future of the Igbos in Nigeria, or the future of the Igbos without Nigeria. We take this opportunity to remind all stakeholders that the starting point of these discussions must include the questioning the obnoxious state-sponsored apartheid policy of marginalization against the Igbos by the Nigerian state. It is worth noting that the Southeast region is the only region in Nigeria, we have said this several times, with only 5 states. While the other regions have 6 states and 7 states, and they are in a very firm position to continue to lord it over their fellow citizens who are the Southeasterners. And it appears that the Southeasterners are very much happy with what is going on, but they are not very much conscious of the fact that the dire consequences remain the perpetual status limitation and demotion of the Southeast in the scheme of things, and the continued perpetuation of Igbos as permanent minorities in Nigeria, whereby that shouldn't be the case in the first place. So this apartheid policy, which has effectively rendered the Southeast, the Igbos, the Igbo-Biafrans, as permanent minorities in Nigeria, will remain so until something is done proactively and now. The implications of such policy are numerous. One, it means that the Southeast, with the least number of states and local government areas, will continue to suffer from lowest number of states and local government areas, which hampers effective regional governance and development. As we speak today, can anybody point out any federal government project in the Southeast region? This is a deliberate action, a deliberate state policy of demotion, of suppression, of marginalization by the Nigerian state. How many of your so-called fellow citizens in Nigeria are talking about all these issues? This is a structural and orchestrated, deliberate state policy to continue to hold the progress and advancement of the Igbos in Nigeria. They are effectively used to make up numbers. Lowest representation in the House of Representatives and Senate. The Igbos have the lowest number of House of Representative members and senators, meaning they are merely up there to make up the numbers within the Nigerian political landscape We have mentioned this in some of our presentations. And in the next presentation, we're going to graphically or statistically present the exact numbers and the disparity in the representation and revenue allocation formula as accrued to the Southeast and other regions or zones in Nigeria. And so we talk about lowest allocation of resources as a consequent or as a result, as a direct consequence of this demotion, this cabination to only 5 states to the Southeast. And in this case, we want to remind the Southeast political leaders, they know all this things, but they're not actually proactively pursuing these obnoxious policies and fighting it in order to ensure equity and justice for the Igbos and for the Southeast as a region. The Southeast receives the lowest allocation in terms of financial resources and infrastructural development. This disparity has direct negative impact on the human and infrastructural development of the region. Because when you are shortchanged in number of states, you are bound to be receiving lower allocation because it also affects everything. You have the lowest lowest amount of how do I put it? Lowest number of or least number of local governments, and it also affects everything in appointment in other areas of political representation. We all know these things, and we are very passionate about driving this, that justice be done for the Southeast region or zone and for the Igbos. Underrepresentation is the next one. The Igbos are subjected to underrepresentation and political exclusion, relegating them to fifth-class citizens, not even second-class citizens in Nigeria. When we talk about underrepresentation, you talk about each state in Nigeria, and then going into regions. Each state has 3 senators. And then when you compare the number of states, like 5 states for the Southeast, 6 states to majority of them, and then I think Northwest is the one that has 7 states. If you calculate the number of senators there, you will now understand what the Igbos are losing. It means that they will not find their voice on the floor of National Assembly. And in terms of contribution, in terms of making any political decision in Nigeria and on the floor of National Assembly, it means that these people, the Southeast senators, will continue to look for favor from elsewhere in order to have any decision in favor of the Southeast to be passed. Or it will just be a case of when it pleases the rest of Nigerian senatorial representatives in the House of Senate. They will now do this for the Southeast as a matter of charity or as a matter of favor. We shouldn't be, because Southeast as of right is supposed to be operating within the context of equality with other states or other regions. But this is not the case. So, like I said, in the next or subsequent presentation, we're going to be more graphical in our approach by presenting statistical information regarding this issue. So the Southeast political representatives must look into all this, or they will continue to endanger the future of the Southeast generation to come on the altar of one Nigerianism. Nobody is going to fight you. Go to the National Assembly, raise this as a bill, sponsor it, let it be voted down, and let us see. Yeah, there will be mischievous and voted down, and it will be on record. And that continues. It forms part of grievances, it forms part of justification for the next action that you're going to take. All of you representing the Southeast, you have all the access, you have all the privileges to present all these things. The Southeast population are very much behind you, but you are not doing the right thing. But we're reminding you, this is part of your constitutional obligation on the part of the people you are representing, if actually you're representing them. So the Igbos are subjected to underrepresentation and political exclusion, relegating them to fifth-class citizens. We have mentioned it. When it comes to, for instance, political positions like the office of the president of Nigeria, you people, everybody, even the perpetrators, are in the know of the fact that there is a targeted campaign, malicious campaign against political candidates of Igbo origin. They are just targeted because they are Igbos. They are just targeted because they come from the Southeast. Why should that be? Yet, the Southeasterners have proved themselves to be more Nigerians than others. There is no state, no region that you will go that will not see the Southeasterners. Despite all these marginalization, the deliberate effort to hold them down, the Southeasterners are still power. But it is not supposed to be, because we would have been more prosperous and forward moving if every one of us, all the regions are given equal opportunity. And so this is an issue of importance for the Igbo-Biafra Nationalist movement and the leadership of Igbo Nation for Self-Determination. We strongly believe that these injustices result from the human manipulation and not from natural causes. It is not natural because of a truth. Nigeria was founded on a tripod, like it or leave it. The majority ethnic groups in Nigeria were the Igbos, the Yorubas, and the Hausa Fulanis. And it was how Nigeria was structurally configured. And that is what affected, or rather informed, the regional arrangement as it was in the 1960s. So why will the Igbos, the great Igbo race, be all of a sudden, through human manipulation, through deliberate state policy, through apartheid policy of Nigerian state government, bring the Igbos in broad daylight to the level of minorities, and people are not seeing all these things. So we strongly believe that these injustices are as a result of mechanical human manipulation and not of natural causes. In the light of these challenges, we offer a practical solution to address the oppression of the Igbos by the Nigerian state. And we reiterate our earlier stand on the following. The Nigerian state has not operated and treated the Igbos based on the principle of equal rights. If the Igbos are integral to the Nigerian project, why must they be shortchanged on fundamental issues such as state creation and resource allocation, and even political appointments? The Igbos must seek justice, therefore, by engaging in serious discussions with the Nigerian state officially through the instrumentality of the Igbo political representatives. As previously mentioned, internal self-determination first. So we call upon the Federal House of Representatives members and the senators to sponsor bills on the creation of additional states in the Southeast region, which for evidential purposes may be voted down because some of the other representatives from different regions may decide to vote it down. But it will be an evidence against the Nigerian state. There is no, it's not a fruitless effort. Our people, the political representatives, must go ahead and do this. And so let us see how it goes. The State House of Assembly members in all states within the Southeast region, in collaboration with their respective state governors, should pass coordinated bills or resolutions acknowledging this obnoxious appetite policy and imbalance in the number of states and local government areas in the Southeast. It has to be documented because that is the starting point of how one, the Southeast as a region, can make complaints both at national and international level. The state governors, through the offices of the Attorney General of the state, Attorneys General of their respective states, should jointly file a suit or law take legal action against the Nigerian state in their own courts in the first instance. The objective is to compel the Nigerian state to look into these injustices against the Southeast, including creation of more states in order to bring the Southeast at pair with other regions or zones in Nigeria. If this issue remains unresolved, the Southeast will have no other option than to escalate the matter to the regional and international levels, the African Commission and the United Nations. Should the Nigerian state fail to rectify these injustices, the Southeast will have no choice but to embark on what we describe as Southeast democratic secession. This process involves using the State House of Assembly to pass a bill on the autonomy of the Southeast, which may lead to referendum or remedial secession, external self-determination, as the case may be. We firmly believe in the legal political process as a means to internal or external self-determination, as a means to resolve these injustices. In conclusion, the Igbo-Biafra Nationalists movement urge all the stakeholders to join hands in addressing this historical marginalization and discrimination faced by the Igbos in Nigeria. By rectifying these injustices, we can foster a more inclusive and equitable society that upholds the principle of equal rights for all in Nigeria. If this does not work, then the Igbos will have no option than to negotiate their future outside Nigeria. Because if you don't do this, nobody will come to you. We have always made references to what the Southwest did using the Amotekun bill. Nothing will happen. The only thing that will happen is that there will be negotiation on all this. Otherwise, everybody will go their separate paths. Why will our political leaders who wield so much power be shying away from this obvious injustice, calculated, documented, entrenched injustice against the great Igbo race in Nigeria? Why will such be, where we have representatives? So this is why we are calling on these, our political leaders from the Southeast region or zone, to begin to do the needful, to take their responsibilities seriously. Thank you. My name is Richard Mefo, and I've reached you from London.